In recent days, South Africa's political landscape has been shaken by a bold and fiery letter from Julius Malema, the leader of the Economic Freedom Fighters, addressed to Honorable Lekganyane, the chairperson of the Special Parliamentary Committee tasked with investigating explosive claims made by General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. This letter has sparked widespread discussion, not only because of its strong language and demands for transparency, but also due to the serious questions it raises about the integrity and fairness of the investigation itself. Today, we will dive deep into this unfolding political drama, exploring its roots, the key players involved, and the potential consequences for South Africa's democracy. To fully understand the gravity of Malema's letter, we need to take a step back and look at the historical context surrounding General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi's claims and the parliamentary committee investigating them. Mkhwanazi, a former senior police official, made allegations that touched on sensitive issues within the South African government and the ruling African National Congress, ANC. His claims included accusations of corruption, abuse of power, and attempts to silence whistleblowers within the security establishment. These are not trivial allegations. They strike at the very heart of governance and rule of law in the country. As such, the formation of the Parliamentary Special Committee to investigate these claims was meant to restore public confidence and ensure that the truth would be uncovered without bias or interference. However, from the outset, questions have been raised about the composition and conduct of the committee. Many critics, including Malema, have expressed concerns that the investigation lacks the necessary independence and transparency. There are fears that political interference is at play, aiming to protect certain individuals or factions rather than uncovering the truth. This tension is what makes Malema's recent letter so significant. In it, he does not mince words, warning of hidden agendas and demanding that the committee operate with full transparency, fairness, and accountability. He reminds Honorable Lekganyane and the members of the committee that the South African people deserve an investigation free from political manipulation. Now, let's analyze the letter itself and the broader implications. Malema's tone is both assertive and urgent. He challenges the committee's draft plan for investigating Mkhwanazi's claims, suggesting that it is insufficient and lacks the thoroughness required for such a serious matter. His insistence on transparency is rooted in a concern that the committee may be seeking to downplay or dismiss critical evidence, potentially shielding powerful figures implicated in the allegations. This concern resonates with many South Africans who have grown weary of endless political scandals and investigations that seem to lead nowhere. On the other side, Honorable Lekganyane and the committee have defended their approach, insisting that they are committed to conducting a fair and unbiased investigation within the bounds of parliamentary procedure. They argue that the draft plan reflects a measured and systematic approach designed to balance thoroughness with respect for due process. Yet, the very need for such defenses highlights the fragile trust many citizens have in political institutions and processes. This clash between Malema and the committee embodies the broader struggle within South African politics, a struggle for transparency, accountability, and genuine reform versus the entrenched interests that seek to maintain the status quo. Looking deeper into the perspectives of other key figures, it is important to note that this controversy has also caught the attention of civil society groups, legal experts, and opposition parties. Many have echoed Malema's calls for a more open and transparent process, emphasizing that the committee's work must be beyond reproach to restore faith in the political system. Some legal experts have pointed out potential weaknesses in the committee's draft plan, such as limited powers to subpoena witnesses or obtain documents, which could hamper the investigation's effectiveness. Opposition parties have used this opportunity to criticize the ruling party and its handling of governance issues, framing the investigation as yet another example of political theater rather than genuine accountability. The impact of Malema's letter and the surrounding debate extends beyond the committee room. It raises important questions about the state of democracy and governance in South Africa today. When serious allegations are made against high-ranking officials or institutions, the public expects transparent investigations that hold the powerful accountable. If investigations are perceived as biased or politically motivated, it undermines trust in democratic institutions and the rule of law. This erosion of trust can have far-reaching consequences, including decreased public participation, increased political cynicism, and even social unrest. Moreover, the letter and the investigation highlight the complex relationship between political parties, state institutions, and the broader South African society. The ANC, which has governed South Africa since the end of apartheid, faces increasing scrutiny and pressure to clean up its internal problems and corruption scandals. Opposition parties like the EFF have positioned themselves as champions of accountability, often using strong rhetoric to pressure the ruling party and institutions. The dynamics between these forces shape the political environment and influence how investigations such as this one unfold. Looking ahead, several possible outcomes could emerge from this ongoing situation. If the Parliamentary Committee takes Malema's concerns seriously and adjusts its approach to ensure greater transparency and inclusiveness, it could enhance public confidence in the process. A thorough and impartial investigation could uncover truths that lead to reforms, accountability, and a stronger democratic system. On the other hand, if the investigation is seen as a mere formality or politically influenced exercise, it risks deepening public distrust and fueling further political tensions. There is also the possibility that Malema's bold stance might inspire other political actors and civil society groups to demand greater oversight and push for systemic changes within South Africa's governance framework. This could lead to more sustained efforts to tackle corruption and improve transparency across government institutions. Alternatively, the situation could escalate into further political conflict, with intensified accusations, counter-accusations, and a more polarized political climate. If you found this discussion insightful, please consider subscribing to the channel for more in-depth analysis on South African politics and current affairs. Don't forget to share your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. What do you think about Julius Malema's letter? Do you believe the Parliamentary Committee can conduct a fair investigation? How important is transparency and accountability in South Africa's political future? Your voice matters, so let's keep this important conversation going. Thank you for watching.